Ever feel like you're doing everything right, but still feel stuck? The career, the house, the script we followed, yet something's missing. Everyone said we made it. We realized we'd been climbing someone else's ladder. That realization sparked a journey toward liberation, toward Africa, toward intention. We haven't left yet, but the shift has already begun. Liberation doesn't start with a move. It starts the moment you stop asking permission. Hi, I'm Simone.
Hi, and I'm Luke.
And welcome back to our liberation journey, where we share how we are building location independent businesses, investing on the continent of Africa, as well as planning our family's relocation to South Africa. So first we want to start this episode by saying a huge thank you to all of the support that we received. 2 weeks ago, we posted a very simple video with our children, our 3 youngest children. So there was a comment about our oldest child on the video being a little bit of, a person that was funny, well, found to be funny. But we do actually have 4 children, not just 3. Our oldest is in college, so he wasn't part of that particular video because he actually did not travel with us on that particular trip that we were discussing in April of this year. But we were certainly surprised. I remember when we posted the video, I think I posted it like kind of late in the evening, but because South Africa is at this point, because time has gone back this time of year, they're 7 hours ahead. My phone kept flashing throughout the night, and I'm looking at my phone, and I just see like all of these alerts on YouTube of people liking the video, watching the video, commenting on the video. And, it was just, for us, it was just like a simple kind of like introduction, hey, these are our kids. We wanted them to be able to feel a part and connected to everything that we're doing as it relates to, relocating specifically to South Africa. And so we thought it was important to incorporate them and, make them a part of this journey, not only, from a physical relocation standpoint, but also, that we're, doing this YouTube channel and, sharing our authentic experience. So we felt that it was important to, allow our children to use their own voices to kind of, express what their experience was during that trip. And so we were like completely surprised, blown away by the support. I mean, over 2,000 views in like less than a week on that particular video. So a huge thank you, a huge bit of gratitude, particularly to our South African brothers and sisters, because looking at the analytics, the majority of people who, engage with that particular video were from South Africa. And so we definitely want to say thank you. We see you, we appreciate you. And, for our, brothers and sisters here in the US, just read the comments, look at the engagement from people from South Africa who don't know us, right? And the love, the support, the, welcome home, all of that positive energy is a huge part of why we chose South Africa as, our landing space for relocating, to the continent. So, Luke,
What's up?
I know we wanted to take a few moments to just kind of acknowledge the previous episode, particularly the engagement. So for you, what are some of the, comments that you felt? Because we wanted to just take, time to really, again, acknowledge the fact that people took the time to not only watch the video, but to leave comments. And so we definitely don't take that for granted, because we know everyone's time is valuable. So we definitely want to make sure that we acknowledge that before kind of moving on to the topic for this episode. But what were some of the comments that stuck out to you?
I'm gonna read off 2 comments. It was all of them were great. I really enjoyed all the comments. They love the kids. Thank you for the kind words, and we are great parents. Thank you. We saw that a lot as well. So we definitely we do a good job as well, and every day's work in progress, and we do a great job at it because we have the kids that we care for. So comments I'm gonna read about is let's start with the first one. What a lovely video. Your kids are absolutely gorgeous. They will blend so well with the kids. Also kindly look into encouraging them to learn 1 or 2 languages. It would expose them to almost South African cultures, as they all are intertwined, especially as they are still growing. That would be beneficial for them, trust me. So thank you for that comment. We are practicing as a family on Duolingo. We do practice Zulu, correct? So the kids enjoy it. They have a great time. We do it every day. We do it as a family. The kids log on as well by themselves to practice the language. And we speak as well as we go throughout our day in our house as well. So we are practicing the language. So thank you for that comment. And thank you for that insight as well to help us as we do come across and come over to South Africa. So we are prepared and ready to go when that time does come. So we are practicing now. So when we get there, we can greet you the correct way. And we can talk to you and have those great conversations. So would you like to say something to them in Zulu?
Sawubona.
Sawubona. Sawubona. Yeah, right? So
yeah, no, that comment actually was right on target, because as Luke mentioned, we are learning Zulu. It started with he and I kind of learning using the Duolingo app. And, as the kids saw us, really being committed to learning Zulu. And so one of the reasons we chose Zulu is because, well, one, we plan to relocate to South Africa. And, it was really important for us to learn one of the languages of the indigenous cultural tribes within South Africa. I know a lot of times people, think of South Africa and they're like, oh, you're trying to learn a language that's spoken in South Africa. And oftentimes the first thing that comes out of someone's mouth is, oh, you guys are learning Afrikaans. And not to say that there's anything wrong with learning Afrikaans, but for us, particularly as African people born in the U.S. who speak English, which, is rooted in colonization and understanding, some of the history as it relates to South Africa and its history as it relates to Afrikaans and that particular language. We felt that it was better to focus on one of the other kind of indigenous cultural languages. And so, we chose to focus on learning Zulu as our first, African language. So we really felt like that particular comment was right on target because we are, actively learning Zulu. And the kids started, doing the Duolingo app on their own. It started with Morgan. She's our oldest daughter. Um, and one day I heard it has a specific ding sound when you like get something right on Duolingo, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm learning Zulu." I mean, we didn't tell them that they needed to, join us in learning. It was just something that they, started on their own, and now it's become, like Luke said, it's become like a daily thing. Like, did you do Duolingo today? Did you do your lesson today?
Yes.
What words did you learn today? The youngest one, who's 5, she doesn't use the app, independently, but we do try to include her in the process of learning Zulu. So definitely appreciate that.
Yes, it gets competitive.
Who could do their lesson first?
Yeah, who could do their lesson first? How many did you get right? How much time did it take you? So we really enjoy that, and just merging them into the culture as well, with the language as well. So we're going to continue to keep doing that. So we will continue. And now we never know. We may have a lesson one day when we talk in Zulu.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
Not the whole lesson, but we'll see.
You mean the episode?
Yeah, the episode. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
All right, got another comment?
Yes. This one stuck out as well too. This one, when I read this one, I was I was laughing. It says, "Are the kids this well mannered, or is it an act? I'm impressed." That one, it got me. Like, what you do? How'd you get the kids to be so still? They can hold attention well and be still. Only the young one became jittery at some point. You can see it started being boring for her. She wanted to do something else, but I really like the good manners. You all are great parents. I'm really inspired as a South African. Thank you. Appreciate that comment.
Yeah.
And the kids sat down.
It took a few takes.
It took a few takes, I'll be honest. But for the most part, they're kids. They're good. They are well-mannered, very respectful. They love people just like we do. But they know right from wrong. And like I said, kids make mistakes. They're not perfect. But during that time, and 9 times out of 10, if you see our children from all 4 of them, you're going to see a reflection of us, because we are what we put in our kids. And that's part of it. So the community knows if they see them, they see us, and our kids are well-mannered. They had a good time doing the video, but after we took the video off, it was, what was they doing? It was like, what'd they do?
Well, the young one, Miss Nia, your observation was correct. She was getting very jittery. That attitude was starting to kick in. Like, I'm later for this. I want to go do something else.
Yeah, she was on another
she has that energy for sure. So yes, it definitely was not. We did not sit there for the whole entire time and record the whole video. We did it in like little spurts, because they are children, and the antsiness, and I need to drink something, and looking off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Or
the faces, like,
I'm like, come on, let's.
Yeah.
So we definitely, did it in like little increments, so that they were, really able to communicate their authentic experience and what they experienced when they visited in April of this year. So both things can be true. They are, for the most part, very well-mannered children, but they are children, and so they do get a little antsy, and got to be reminded to look at the camera, smile, don't have the stink face on, all of those things. So.
They did a great job, though. I was proud of them. They did a great job. First time, that was their first time doing a recording on the video, so they showed me that all things are possible, and they enjoyed it. They're ready for another one.
Yes, I know. Morgan was just telling me today. She was like, "Can we do a video with us how people go about their day and just kind of record, and and she definitely emphasized the point, it has to be a girl's day. I'm like, okay, Morgan.
Yes, girls day. It's fine with me. It's okay.
So yes, again, thank you, particularly to our South African family, and we're gonna call you family, because this channel is centered not only around liberation but community building. And as I mentioned, and as we mentioned, one of the biggest attractions, particularly to South Africa, is that energy, that welcoming spirit that we felt every time we visited, from the people. And, again, your engagements, your comments, is just a reflection of what we were already saying from the very first episode. So I hope, our brethren and sisterin in the U.S. Don't overlook the fact that the South Africans do show up for you, and they show up for you in a way that is rooted in the spirit of what they call Ubuntu. So
Yes.
we appreciate all the love, with respect to our children and their sharing of their experience. Next, we're going to talk about just kind of making sure that we're clear about where we are in our relocation journey, because from some of the engagement and conversations, particularly with people that we've had here in the US, there are some folks who were under the impression that we had already, relocated and moved to South Africa. And so just so everyone, we're all on the kind of same page, we currently still live in the US. We have not relocated to South Africa at this point. This where we are in the journey, just to kind of rewind and then come forward. So in November of 2024, so this time last year, Luke and I traveled to Johannesburg for the real estate tour that was put on by the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism Company. Then we returned back to South Africa in April of this year, 2025, with our three younger children, and also my mother accompanied us on just a private vacation with just our family, which was also put together by the Real South Africa Travel and Tourism. And then I should say I and our eldest son, who, as I mentioned, is in college, he and I actually went back again to South Africa for the Durban real estate tour that the Real South Africa hosted. And a little later on in the conversation today, we'll elaborate a little bit more on what led to that decision to go back again for a fourth time for me, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, third time. Third time. Okay. The reason I'm getting confused is because I did come back to the continent for a fourth time. That's a topic for another day. So the third time back in South Africa in less than a year was for the Durban real estate tour. So we currently still live in the U.S., New Jersey specifically. That's where both Luke and I, were raised, and where we met each other. So we currently do live in the U.S. So we are not moved yet. Part of our process and part of why we chose to start the channel at this point was to allow people to kind of see a family in real time go through that process of planning relocation. And so one of the biggest parts of that is what we just kind of discussed a few moments ago with preparing, our children. And part of that preparation process has been, as we mentioned, learning Zulu, but also routinely discussing with them, the plan to relocate. So it's not just something that just comes out of the blue. Like we are having these conversations, if not daily, multiple times throughout the week, where we're talking about what we're planning to do. A lot of the things around the house, we're like having those conversations. We need to start, downsizing the amount of things that we have because no, we cannot take everything with us. Um, and so we're having those conversations with our children so that they are prepared. And then one of the biggest things that we're focused on right now is building location independent businesses so that we have those location independent income streams, because that's one of the biggest, um, I would say, barriers that people face when thinking about relocating abroad, not just specifically to Africa, but anywhere abroad outside of the US, is particularly if you're not of a retirement age where you're getting a routine retirement income, it's how are you going to sustain yourself, financially. And so, some of the things that we're actually going to discuss a little bit further in detail during this episode is what kind of led to us having this focus on building these location independent streams of income. Our financial strategy through real estate. Real estate is one of those investment mediums that we are definitely focused on, and actively investing in real estate in South Africa, and it definitely have the intention of expanding that to other countries throughout the continent. So for us, this isn't just us moving to another place. We are fully redesigning, you know,
Yeah.
our lives, professionally and, as a family. So next we're gonna talk about what led to us being invited to speak at the Travel, Move, and Do Business virtual conference that was facilitated by Ashley from Ashley in Africa. So just to kind of rewind, you know, I actually first initially started engaging with Ashley in Africa about a year ago, part of her investors group, where monthly we would have, group coaching calls, which really um, got me focused personally on figuring out what strategies do we need to implement and put in place in order to allow us to be able to successfully relocate. Because again, this isn't just us just trying to pick up and move and go somewhere. We really are being very thoughtful about what type of life we want to live, what that looks like, and what needs to be in place in order to support that particular lifestyle that we're seeking. So investing in, being part of the investors group, um, being very intentional about showing up for the group coaching calls every month. Since going on the real estate tour in Johannesburg, that really for me lit a fire in me to say, okay, you need to get your stuff together, and if this is truly what you want to do, you need to take the necessary steps in order to do that. So I started engaging with Ashley through the group, coaching sessions. And then this summer, Luke and I actually started working with Ashley one on one within her wealth strategy system, where she really works with you as an individual and for us as a couple to really figure out what your strategies need to be, because everybody's different. Everybody's, financial situations are different. Where they are in their lives is different. What their goals are different. The things that they are, good at, where their skill sets are. So everyone's, journey is going to look a little bit different. Um, and so for us, we felt it was very important to make that investment and having someone who's already done it, right? She's been um, living on the continent for about 5 years now, specifically living in South Africa for a few years now. Um, and she's obviously done it successfully and also built a business around that. So we felt that for us, if we were going to do this, we wanted to do it the right way. We wanted to do it the smart way. And we wanted to do it a sustainable way. We didn't want to have to, pack up and come back because we didn't put the necessary things in place in order to support the lifestyle that we, are seeking. Um, so we started working with Ashley one on one, and through that one on one, strategy sessions that we started engaging with her, every 2 weeks, or was it monthly? I can't remember. Anyway, routinely we were, having these strategy sessions, and in between having action items and things that we were set to do to really set us on that path. And so that's working with her. That's where we got introduced to kind of the concept or the idea of really being thoughtful about how what are you going to build from a location independent income stream standpoint, utilizing your professional and personal skill sets, and also what is in alignment with what is important to you. um, and so for Luke, I'll let you kind of you know uh, give some more kind of context as to, for you working with, having the opportunity to work with Ashley, because, again, in the beginning, it was just me kind of participating in the group sessions. And then when we, worked with her one-on-one, that was kind of your first kind of, you know, um, interactions with her from a investment standpoint, and just kind of being more thoughtful about those things. So, for you, what was that experience like, starting those one-on-one sessions, and then two, what did that ultimately lead to as far as a location independent income stream that you're currently, working on?
I would love to share. Um, Back to your first point. The first point, I enjoyed those sessions. It was an eye opener. Ashley's amazing. The type of work that she does is great. Very thorough, straight to the point, but she really knows what she's doing. That's key. And I really enjoyed that too. It opened me up, opened my eyes up as well to understand what I could bring to the continent of Africa, right? And most importantly, South Africa, where we will be relocating. So I focus on health and wellness. I work with youth, a personal trainer, and I focus on fitness, right? That's my passion. That's what I love to do. So just working with her, we've put some things in place, which I'm doing here in the States already, but wanting to bring that to the continent where I'm empowering the next generation through fitness, nutrition, healthy lifestyles, and mental health, which is key. And so those are the things I'm putting in place to bring to the continent, which are actually going on right now in the States.
So for you working with her, um, you've worked with kids for quite some time, and you know you definitely he lives and breathes fitness. Let me just put it that way. So working with Ashley, how did that help to kind of focus kind of your attention on what it looks like to build a business that can generate income, because at the end of the day you can't live anywhere for free.
That is true.
So working with her, how did that kind of help shift kind of how you go about what you're doing?
It definitely shifted my mindset. That's the word we use, because that's what we started to move on this journey. But working with Ashley definitely, you know, showed me that I can do this as well, also in the continent, as well, and also in South Africa, because it was you can she's on the ground, she's been there, she's doing it, and working with like-minded people that um, come from the States as well and move to South Africa and establish a business as well in the continent and be successful. That's who you want to align with as well, with moving in that direction. And building a community is key, and having her part of our community as well and assisting us through this process has been great for myself. Like my wife mentioned before, she's been dealing with Ashley for some time with her programs, but myself coming into the mix, it was like wow, like okay, like let's go. This is work, and I enjoyed every bit of it, and I'm still pressing forward now and using those tools and insights she's given me to move forward with bringing my business to the continent.
So for me, one of the shifts that happened when we moved to working with Ashley one-on-one and not just in the group sessions, is that for a very long time, you know, it was very clear, kind of our path as it related to investing in real estate. That part of it was pretty clear to us, and we had really settled on a particular strategy that we're, working currently. But from a personal, professional standpoint, I still was struggling with what I should focus on from my personal professional experience and personal um, strengths and things that I enjoy doing. So working with Ashley one-on-one really helped me to shift and focus on, okay, what for me is a location independent business that utilizes my expertise, my experience, and as well as my strengths, and also aligns with the lifestyle that we're seeking to establish when we do relocate. And so taking all of those different things into account and also working one-on-one, I was able to figure out a business that really checks, all of the boxes as far as something that is location independent, so I can do it from anywhere in the world, that generates income, because that's, again, very important. You have to be able to sustain yourself, especially us being, parents of children who need to have resources in order to continue to raise them. And so what I landed on was creating a coaching business that specifically focuses on physician mothers and helping to establish a work-life balance. And initially, actually, I was approaching it from a one-on-one coaching standpoint. But after, having conversations with Ashley and then also being introduced to Ashley's actually her business coach, that definitely created another shift where, I now am focused not solely on the one-on-one coaching aspect, but also from a consulting standpoint, because that's one of the long-term visions that I had for this particular business, is to be in a place where I can, leverage my lived experience and understanding kind of the needs of this particular group, because it is a bit different when you're a physician as well as a mother, and being able to balance all of those different aspects. And so working with Ashley and then also being introduced to her business coach, and now working with her particular business coach's company, now my focus is certainly still on the physician mother and that support, but doing it from a vantage point of providing a service to larger healthcare systems. So that's what I'm currently working on. And actually, tomorrow I have a first discovery call with an executive for a hospital system. So I'm definitely looking forward to that and to more opportunities to, really get this off the ground and running. And so certainly we, wouldn't be in that place if we hadn't decided to make the investment in ourselves. Oftentimes people will think about, whether it's like investing in a, coach or a consultant, as, I'm investing in that person, but it's really an investment in yourself. And if you want to achieve something, it's definitely going to take a certain degree of investment, whether it's investing in education, whether it's investing in training, or in this particular case, investing in a service that is going to help you get from point A to point B in a more streamlined way, in a more successful way, and certainly in a more sustainable way. So that's been our experience, and certainly we always encourage people, particularly those who've expressed to us a real interest in thinking about life differently, and really opening your mind to building a life that is more in alignment with what's important to you. And so definitely it's important to make those types of investments if you really want to redesign your life. So the last thing we want to discuss is Durban. I know we brought it up before, that myself and our eldest son went on the real estate tour in Durban. And so one of the reasons why we made that decision is because after the real estate tour that we did in Johannesburg last year, we had a follow-up conversation with the Blantons. And during that follow-up conversation, or I should say interview that we did on their channel after we did the real estate tour, they, mentioned, I think Mark mentioned specifically that Club Med was building a new all-inclusive resort in Durban. And that this is the first time that they were going to be hosting the real estate tour in Durban. Their prior real estate tours were all based in Johannesburg. And so, the antennas went off from a real estate standpoint. It's just like, you know, we're familiar with Club Med. I don't know, maybe some of you may not be familiar with the brand Club Med, but Club Med is a international brand. They have multiple different all-inclusive resorts with a whole host of amenities. It's really like a five-star, family oriented, all-inclusive resort packages that they, create. And so a lot of their existing resorts are in the Caribbean. We've never been to one of them personally, but we're definitely very aware of the Club Med brand. And so, we're thinking like, okay, you know, of, you know, the continent of Africa is vast. I don't have to tell most of you that, and so there are many different places Club Med could have chosen to create a all-inclusive resort. So my question is, what's going on in Durban, and why did they choose Durban? And so I was just like, I told Luke, I was like, I think we really need to figure out how we can get on this Durban tour, because there's clearly something going on in Durban that we need to, get our boots on the ground and see for ourselves what's happening. And so because we mentioned we had been to Johannesburg in November, then we went back again in April with, the children and also my mom. And so now this is a third trip, and I'm just like, okay, we all can't go. The coins are not, yeah. Anyway, so, we all couldn't go. And plus, you, Luke, you were starting, the camp. Yeah. So usually, like Luke usually, the past few summers, he's been taking part in a summer camp where he facilitates a lot of the fitness programming for that summer program. And that was going to be starting exactly the same time that the real estate tour was. So, it really didn't make sense for him to, take time away from that, because it's, a finite period of time, just, several weeks during the summer that this program is running. And certainly couldn't take all the kids with us because, again, it's a real estate tour. They're younger. I didn't want that headache of trying to deal with a bunch of kids that are going to be bored after 10 minutes. And wanted to, go to the beach and go to the water park and do, things that kids like to do, not necessarily, going to and fro from house to house looking at real estate. So, I thought, okay, well, it would be a good opportunity for our eldest son to be able to go and see South Africa because, like we mentioned, he wasn't able to accompany us in April because he's in college, and his time off from school during the springtime isn't the same as for our younger children. So we decided that, he and I, my eldest son and I would go, and so that we can, get some intel and figure out what's happening, what is happening in Durban. And certainly it was very clear from day one what was happening in Durban, and it certainly was very clear to me why a international company brand like Club Med would decide to invest that type of capital in Durban. And so we are going to spend some time on a separate episode delving a little bit further into those details about the Durban real estate market and why it is definitely something that is part of our real estate investment strategy. And we're going to have the opportunity to have a conversation with a real estate expert that I met who has become like a sister to me. And funny enough, actually, okay, so fun fact, right? So this real estate expert who I met in Durban, her and I have been having, multiple different follow-up conversations since the trip, because we are, looking to invest in a property in Durban. And so her and I were just one day having this conversation. And I don't even remember how we got on the topic of our spouses. But we're like talking, and literally I'm telling her about Luke and she's telling me about her husband, and we're like talking about like the same person. so so we were like, this is insane. Like,
Yeah.
you're literally talking about my husband. And I'm saying to her, like, no, you're literally talking about my husband. I'm like, are we married to the same person? And so, long story short, we got on a call and introduced, our spouses to each other. And so Luke has, you continue to
Yeah.
have conversations with her husband, because they are definitely have the same focuses as it relates to youth and fitness and also fatherhood, and really, encouraging men to be more engaged with their children. So we'll certainly, talk more about
Yeah,
that
definitely,
as
definitely.
well.
Always great conversation.
So more to come as it relates to Durban, and we will have a candid conversation with an expert, so that don't just take my word for it. You hear it from someone who is on the ground, who works in that space,
Yes.
who will give you all the tea, as the young folks would say, when it comes to real estate opportunities in Durban. And so, one of the things that we want to encourage you is, if you have any questions about Durban or just relocation in general, please, drop a comment, because we do read the comments.
Yeah, we read them.
And future conversations that we have, we really do want to incorporate a lot of the feedback that we get from all of you, because we really want to build a community, and not just talk about what we're doing, but also get feedback from what you guys are doing, um, and helping to shape further conversations. So please share. And if you have questions, particularly specific to Durban or relocation, please drop a comment, and we'll certainly make sure that we incorporate that into the conversations that we have upcoming. We're going to leave you with three takeaways to, again, summarize today's episode. And so I will let Luke start with the first one.
Your support fuels our journey. We're not doing this alone. Your comments, your messages, and those 2,000 plus views reminded us that community travels with you, even before you relocate.
Yes, those, again, much love, and thank you.
Thank you.
To
Thank
all
you.
the love from our South African brothers and sisters who took the time to watch, as well as comment on the last episode. Again, we definitely do not take that for granted, and so much appreciation for all of the encouragement that you've shown us. Takeaway number 2 is relocation isn't a leap, it's a build. Now, again, we haven't relocated yet at this point. This journey is a series of intentional steps to building location independent income, redefining our lifestyle, and designing the life we want for our children. And takeaway number 3 is mentorship can compress time. I'm going to say that one more time. Mentorship can compress time. From, our talk at the virtual conference, that really made one thing very clear to us. When you get the right guidance, like we received with working one-on-one with Ashley, your life can shift faster than you expected. Initially when we started working one-on-one with Ashley, the time frame for our relocation was maybe in a few years, to now we're like, okay, this time next year we are actively going to be transitioning and getting ourselves set up so our kids can start the new academic year in 2027 in South Africa. And so mentorship definitely can compress time when you seek and invest in yourself and get guidance from experts who have done it before. And so thank you again for taking the time to engage with us. This is our liberation journey. I am Simone.
I'm Luke.
And we definitely appreciate your time, your engagement, and don't forget to
Please like, share, and subscribe.
to our liberation journey,
Yes,
because sharing is.
it's caring.
Till next time.
See you soon.
Peace.